But then if we
So I'm just seeing the record. It's good to actually record this because it's good to have your input as well. So carry on.
okay. So in most cases, once we are to focus on the youth, it's more important actually. We shall be able to get a bigger number, other than us maybe focusing maybe on the kids or the adults. No, if we focus on the youth, then we shall have the biggest number, and I know that most of them will get engaged, and they will need to at least try to pick up.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's yeah, excellent perspective. You know, of course, we're kind of approaching it from all angles as well. So, of course, you know, from my own experience, I've been trying to obviously find ways. I've got like, just to let you know, I've got like a cleaning company that I run here in the UK. It's only a small business. In fact, I'm the only one who's actually involved in that process. It's a carpet cleaning business. But a lot of my clients are very affluent. They're quite well off clients. And obviously, I've been trying to find ways to see how I could approach them about it. Of course, you know, these people at the moment, they just don't have an open mind. I'm conscious of the fact that they don't have a very open heart. They're not really somebody. They might give to certain causes and charities, but some of them I've actually found quite receptive. The people that I've been speaking to, but yes, in terms of actually how quickly the numbers can grow, the youth, as you said, will be obviously a prime area because again, you know what we've seen, particularly in the last couple of years, and this is obviously across the world, but I guess as well where you are, is that with everything getting worse, you know, the dreams of children have been completely removed, and of the youth. So thinking, you know, what kind of future have we got to look forward to at the moment? Everything around the world seems to be collapsing and it's terrible. And obviously, again, restoring that faith and that hope and that actual vision that we are creating something that's actually going to be far, far better than anything ever was, you know. I mean, this, what we are creating is, it is a heaven on earth scenario, and the youth, I think, are more able to actually use their imagination as well. So, you know, the imagination is a very, very powerful thing. This is how we actually create things. Every single invention, you know, that has ever been created has come from the imagination. And I think some of the older people have lost their ability to use their imagination. So the youths, I think, have still got it. They're very creative, and yeah, if you can so obviously connect with youths, and you can, I mean, just in speaking to you guys, have you got like a, you know, are you in university yourselves as well?
Yes,
uh,
university.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm uh, I'm actually right now at Makerere University within Uganda.
Brilliant. Okay, great. I know that Stuart, you're in university, a very good university as well. One of the
yes.
best, in fact. So, and yeah, Balajusa, are you in university as well?
Yeah, I'm in university.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, this is great. I mean, I've always seen that the universities, just with even other projects I've looked at that I thought would be quite good, that actually in university, because of the community that you have there and the connections with people and your relationships, it's just something that actually, when people get something and it's a good thing, then it can go, you know, very, very quickly across the university and then further afield, because you obviously then have, you know, friends outside of your university. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, we're kind of coming up with different ways and means to actually share the information. So we've got Telegram groups. Are you all on Telegram? I think
Yeah,
Stuart was on Telegram.
I'm on Telegram.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm on
yeah,
Telegram also.
yeah. So we've got a Telegram group, like a general Telegram group for GPMS. We've only got 10 minutes left, just to let you know, guys. On
You-
yeah, sorry. Were you gonna say
Mr. Truman, you could also share that link of the Telegram
Yeah,
group.
yeah. Let me just see if shall I do that now? I mean, yeah. Also, if you're all on Facebook as well, then you can actually find me on Facebook. You can also look up the Global People's Monetary System, and then again, you're sort of linked in there as well. But also, we've created a Ugandan Telegram group as well. So there's only 5 of us in there at the moment. I think there might be another one though, to be honest, because what people will start to do is probably create their own Telegram groups. I mean, a lot of people will start to work on this in like a team basis. you know, obviously you're spreading the word individually, but you come together and you kind of have little kind of meetings and groups as you grow them. And this is, I think, where Thailand have been really successful. And they've got like people in each city, you know, got a representative now in each city that's going around speaking to people, and they're starting to build it from there. So I could get the Telegram group for you and share it to, I don't know if it might be easier for me to share it to Wanderer, and then Wanderer, you've got the actual, I can make you an administrator on the Ugandan one. So that would be the best thing to do. And then you can invite people to this as well. The first thing for you guys to do is to actually register to GPMS, give your agreement and your consent to that, because one, that's basically you're asking people to obviously do the same thing. So you need to, obviously you're leading by example. And then also some people, I think all of your friends are you're going to find it very, very simple to go through that process. It's quite a simple process. When you go through the actual agreement and you give your heart signature, most people, they don't do a proper formal signature. They'll just do a heart signature. That's fine. And then you just click submit, but you might need to click it twice for it to actually then confirm it that you've actually registered your voice. And then you get an email through. You've got the decree that you see, it comes up on a scroll when you receive it, which says, you know, every man, woman and child, you know, has a right to sustenance and all of these different sort of freedoms and everything else. So you get a copy of that as well. So yeah, going forward, it would be good. Like if you've got like plans to invite, I mean, we could actually do some regular calls like this. I'm more than happy to obviously talk, you know, to your friends and for your friends to meet me. When you actually get involved and you're agreeing to it, there's also on the website, there's how to get involved. And if you click on that, there's a page there where you can actually fill out a contributing form. And what that does is that basically just asks a few questions about, you know, ask the same few questions about, like, you know, your age and your name and your email address. You don't have to give your mobile number, but when you put that information in, and also any skills that you've got, if you've got computing skills or a number of different skills or anything that's not mentioned there, you can add in the comments if you've got other skills that you think that, any skills that could be useful for us to know now. In perhaps, you know, as we're sharing it, you might be able to contribute some of your actual skills to that end. Or even actually as we are uniting, this is where we're collecting the skill set of the 99% of the people that are, of course, going to help us implement this new system, which is going to be very simple because all the skills are within us already. So we've got all of the systems to, you know, take over the banks and then create bank accounts for every person upon the planet. And then from there, actually put the money into their account. So again, if you're not familiar with that, within the sort of divine plan and within the transcript, it does talk about, you know, on implementation, we've changed the figure, but the idea is once we get the implementation process going in, we're going to create bank accounts for everyone. And then the first installment will be for $20,000. That's what we're anticipating. And it might not be American dollars. It might be a different currency. Whatever's the strongest currency will become like the worldwide currency. And then we put that $20,000 into everyone's account. That is for a man or a woman or a child, doesn't matter what their age is. And then they basically will have instant comfort. They won't have to then worry about rent. They won't have to worry about, you know, all of these other things that you've usually had to pay for that are essential. And then you'll have deflation. But what we'll do is we'll control the price index of all of the products that are essential so that there's no sudden inflation because of what we're doing, which we take control of as the people. And so we'll have, at that point, when we've got a few billion people who have registered and agreed, we've already got, you know, a lot of people there that will be involved as administrators, you know, administration councils that handle this kind of process of actually creating accounts for everyone. But all of the people who are really early on in this, like people like myself and Rick and others that have been in from the beginning, and others that just come in that are very, you know, divine, very spiritual, good people, obviously are going to be making sure and ensuring that this is going forward and driving it forward. So, and then of course you guys are really, respectively, you're in at the beginning. So your role in this is really potentially quite amazing because as a result of you guys being here today and learning about this and getting involved in this project, you know, a large part of Africa that joins us in this in the future will be as a result from you guys starting it.
So true,
And
man.
it's quite an amazing thing, that we're kind of like the forefathers. Like, in America, they talk about the forefathers that kind of, created America really, and the Declaration of Independence. We're basically acting really at the moment as the forefathers of the planet, the guardians, because that's what we're doing, and we're at the very beginning right now. But it can happen very quickly, like I say. The mathematics, if everybody just shared this with 3 people who agreed to it within 24 hours and shared it with 3 people, just by mathematics, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, 9, 27, 81, it comes to 8 billion within just 21 times. So that's how quickly it can go viral. That's why you get YouTubers that weren't here yesterday, but then the next day they've got over 1 million followers, 10 million followers. They just suddenly they go viral because it just takes off. Challenges that I've faced, well, I would say I don't really look at them as challenges. What we're doing at the moment is very much sowing the seeds. Okay, so this is a huge thing what we're creating here. And as the saying goes, you can't build Rome in one day. I don't know if you're familiar with that saying, but it's obviously quite a well-known saying over here. It's true, though, that we can actually create it a lot quicker than people realize, obviously, when it goes viral, which it will do at some point. At the moment, a lot of people that I speak to, which I've been connecting with and into this GPMS, is actually been via Facebook. I've got quite a few contacts that I've made over the last couple of years. I wasn't on Facebook before the pandemic, really. And then I got onto it, and then I started getting information. So there's quite a few people that I've kind of connected with, and they're within certain groups, like a lot of spiritual people, not necessarily religious people. And I found that they've been quite receptive, to the information. Oh, we've lost Belajusa. Hopefully he'll join again. Yeah, some people, when I've shared it with them, they haven't got a very broad perspective, and they're not people with very strong faith. They do see that the world obviously isn't going the way that we obviously want it to, and obviously realize that there's a lot of evil in this world that shouldn't be existing, that currently does have power at the moment. But they're kind of not very they're not the sort of people that would really take action for themselves. They're not very driven people. So yeah, there are people out there that you would share this message with, and quite often it will just be the timing for them might not be quite right as well, and also how they receive the information and how much they read. And lots of people can have ideas and think, oh, they want to know the exact details of how this world is going to be created. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? What about this challenge? What about that? And that's quite natural for people to be inquisitive, and obviously wanting to have an idea of certain things. I could tell you for one, where we talk about every single one having their own vehicle, or every family having their own vehicle, a lot of people could be thinking, well, how's that going to work? If everybody's got their own vehicle, we've already got too many cars on the road. How's that even going to work? In the new world, what we're creating is, what the people want at large. I don't think we're going to really need to have, a voting that continuously happens on different things worldwide, although that may well be a factor. We may feel that that is actually a good thing to have, but we'll be working more on a local community level, where things will be kind of more locally kind of worked out. And we will be able to travel freely, but we're going to be able to create such technology that you can't even imagine. That the way that we've been living has not been good for the planet, and there is lots of changes that obviously are going to be coming, whether we like them or not. The elites, the political elite, they've got their plans to obviously potentially stop everybody from being able to have a vehicle, stop people from traveling freely even more than they have already. They're making it very expensive for people to travel. They've already made it very difficult for people to travel who haven't, been vaccinated, for example, in the past. We've seen that obviously recently and stuff like that. So they're kind of flexing their muscles as to really restricting our freedoms. But in a world that we're going to be creating, where everybody doesn't have to worry about money and financial stress or anything like that, you're going to actually see a massive healing process occur. You're going to see a process where basically people who didn't feel like they fitted into this world do fit in. because they're going to be treated as importantly as everybody else, because it doesn't matter if somebody's disabled, you know, that life is still important, and they having to endure suffering that most people don't fortunately have to endure. But those people won't have to work in the future. They'll just be looked after. And, you know, at the moment, we've got a lot of people in healthcare that are in the medical business as doctors and surgeons and stuff like that, but they don't really, they may have entered that industry once upon a time because they felt they wanted to be a hero, they wanted to be good, for do the good and look after people. But actually what ends up happening is money ends up taking a priority. They end up, you know, now we've got a situation here in the UK where basically we've got this National Health Service, which is supposed to be free for people, and it's not coping. And, you know, the people who are actually operating as nurses and doctors, they're frustrated because they're not getting paid as much. They haven't had pay rises and stuff like that. And they're focusing on the money side of it, which is exactly what the elite want, because they want everybody to be focused on money and be stressed by it. So in a new world where you've got more people helping out and you've got new technology, we create new interesting ways and very simple ways for people to be able to contribute without having to do years of education, and everybody will be able to do more to support each other. But yeah, so back to kind of, you know, the challenges I've had with sharing it. You know, I've had people that obviously have expressed that it's a nice idea, but I can't see it happening. And, you know, that's down to people's mindset and their lacking belief in themselves and in humanity, because a lot of that faith has been lost, especially a lot of it's been squashed in the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything else. And that's kind of been deliberate, because the elitists, the global elites, I don't know if you guys have heard of the World Economic Forum. Have you heard about that forum?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah. Okay, so they're talking about we're in we're actually basically in the fourth industrial revolution of AI, you know, artificial intelligence, and, you know, they basically want to shift humanity so far into that world that we live in basically a digital world. And I'll tell you this now, I don't know this. This is a sense that I have, that they would actually be quite happy. These people at the top are, you know, they don't care about people generally. And I think that they would like to make life so much hell, the real life, the real reality of our world, so much hell that people will actually be happy to go into metaverse and just be living in a digital world their whole life, just hooked up to a machine, you know, in a virtual world. Because the way that their actions are showing us that this is the way that they think. Because if they had a different intention, then they could be doing a lot more stuff that we know that they could be doing to actually heal the world and actually take care of people. So, you know, these people that obviously are in control and have power at the moment, a lot of them very fortunate to be in those positions of power. They're not really very creative. Basically, they don't have the ability to create as much as what we can. People with a good heart and a good nature are actually often very, very good creators, but we're restricted on our creative abilities because of money. Because unless you've got an idea, it's a great idea, but you don't have any money, you don't have any contacts, how can you actually create anything which can be big? Some people manage to find ways, but most people don't. And they don't have belief in themselves. So what they've also done through the education system is they've actually taught people that intelligence is all about academics. So you're not an intelligent person. It's generally kind of, this is the general understanding, although a lot of people know this not to be true, that unless you become a really high qualified graduate and you've achieved very high level you know, status in your academics, you're not regarded necessarily to be that intelligent. Whereas actually, you know, some of the biggest entrepreneurs obviously didn't even go to university. But, you know, intelligence is obviously something that is much deeper than academics. You know, I wasn't an academic. I wasn't interested in studying when I was younger, but then I basically became more interested in, you know, science and other things over the last 10, 15 years. And actually, you know, there's an innate intelligence that we have that we can actually develop in children from a younger age. And actually, again, that can do some amazing things as well. So it's you know, a shift in consciousness is what's happening right now. More and more people are starting to see, you know, what's going on in the world, and they're starting to realize that the system that was existing and the old system obviously has failed us, and more people are experiencing that directly, which is causing them to expand their consciousness into thinking this isn't right and this needs to change. So we're in the times of the great change. So some people that you give the message to right now might not be ready to receive it and agree to it and actually start sharing it. And that's okay. You're still sharing the message. What will happen is that there are many of us that obviously already recognize it. And I think in your part of the world, more people will be ready to accept it and agree to it than in my part of the world. You know, because we've got the institutionalized people, or people are institutionalized very well through the education system, and then they go into jobs and they may have actually had an okay life. They've never been very, very happy necessarily, but they kind of have felt that they've had this parent, which is the government, take care of them. So they're still kind of feeling like they need to have a government to take care of them. And that's where the shift in consciousness is happening. We're seeing it in the media here at the moment, that the media are actually almost kind of, they seem to be actually kind of already working on programming people, which the media does. They tell people what to think, about how the government's obviously failing and it's no good. And okay, we're talking about an election that's going through at the moment, but it's quite clear that even the new people that come in politically with the government probably are going to be just as bad as the last people, because it's always been a failure, always, as far as the people are concerned. So there is this consciousness is expanding. There's more people that are realizing, you know, really the true importance of who we are, you know, and what we're here to do. And actually our planet is important and we need to think about helping each other. But there's still obviously a large segment of people that aren't there yet with their consciousness. But that is changing, and there's things that are going on around the world, which I won't go into detail of, where people are actually doing energetic work, because everything is energy, everything is vibration. And actually, when you have a lot of people that even meditate together, I don't know if you know about this, if you have a lot of people that meditate, you can actually influence reality quite powerfully, you know, and this has been proven scientifically. So there's more people that are getting into meditation, there's more people that are doing it together, and that is actually having a vibrational effect. And as I say, even just spreading the word of GPMS and more people agreeing to it, as those numbers grow, you can start to see more and more people becoming already, like there's already a healing that's starting to happen, which will, you know, because they see the new world coming. We're already seeing it. We've seen it in Thailand. You know, the farmers are already happy because of the fact that they know that they're not going to have to work tirelessly day after day, just physically on the farm, and they're going to have, you know, new ways of doing it in the future. And that's already making them feel better. And actually, as more people start to feel better and they look better, the people that, you know, saw GPMS but didn't act on it, they're starting to notice something else going on, and then that starts to awaken them. So people are awakening to this, and there is a massive awakening happening. We've already seen it already over the pandemic in different ways. What we are seeing, what's quite surprising here, is that in the UK and in Europe and the US, a lot of people were sharing information in the last 2 years about the pandemic, about, you know, the nature, the true nature behind it. And, you know, is it a biological weapon? Is it this? Is it that? You know, was it done deliberately? All the rest of it. And so you've got people that fall into this category of truth seekers. They've been seeking the truth to uncover the conspiracies that are going on, the government conspiracies, and all the rest of it. And those people you would think would be, you know, really ready to actually accept this new system, because they obviously know that the old system is basically killing people, are still slow to actually necessarily get involved. So I've given you quite a lot of information there about that. I don't know if it's kind of answered the question. I know Wanderer's got his hand up. So what was that you wanted to say, Wanderer?
Yeah, you've actually answered all. You've answered the question. I think my brother who has asked that question has got to understand the reply of his question he has just asked. So, yeah, what I should just say is to deliver my last message to our four brothers that have actually got into this. We can succeed. So, firstly, I would appreciate all of them and send my sincere appreciation. That is, thank you so much for you have seen that this is actually so important, and you decided to see you're going to kill some of your time, and you see that this good system, this good divine system comes to success. Therefore, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And then what I would just say or inform you about is that our country, Uganda, so far, I should say it has just at the lowest population of people who are actually engaging into supporting this new system. Therefore, I should appeal to you, brothers over here. I hope every person is on. I should appeal to you that we should actually do our level best to see that we can raise this population in Uganda, which is currently the lowest. When I try to look at the grading of how many people are in support of this, our country, Uganda, is just at the lowest population in support of this. Therefore, I appeal to every person and all brothers here that have got into this. I should say that let us fight to see that we can raise this population in Uganda to see it can reach the population of Thailand that has at least got to a level which is actually very, very good. And I should still appeal to you that let us try to use all opportunities we get, since it is good that I've gotten people who are good in ICT. They are able to use different medias. They are able to use all opportunities concerning ICT. Therefore, I appeal to you, and this I think would answer the question my brother had just said here, Barry Yusuf, how this process is going to be initiated. Since you are good in using computers, you are good in using all sources of medias, this could be the best platforms where you can at least try to communicate to a wide population so that this can get to be known by people so easily. You know, internet is the best thing for something to run so fast. Therefore, I would encourage, because you were asking of how is this going to be initiated. Yeah, it is very good that we are all aware of all social media platforms. For example, Facebook, we are aware of Instagram, we are aware of WhatsApp, we are aware of messaging and all other sources of communication. Therefore, this would be a good thing that you use all these platforms, and I guess you all have friends on these different platforms. Therefore, this would be very good, and this would be the first point you could look at to see that every friend you have on YouTube, every friend you have on Instagram, every friend you have on Facebook, and all other sources of media, as mentioned but a few, you make them get to know of this good system. So you create a question in their head: what is GPMS, and what is it all about? You go more and explain to them how good this system is, because I'm really sure that the people who have not yet initiated into this, people who have not got into this, are people that have not yet been explained of how good this process is. But I'm really sure that when they get to be explained and they get to know the values of this good system, they are immediately going to consent and come to support this. And yeah, this appreciation goes to our brother. You have done your part. You have done a very good job to see that you can explain to every person that I get to you here. You've taken a lot of time to see that every person understands, and I appreciate you for that. And I hope brothers over here have gotten to know how they can go to register and then get into this, and you have now known how you can more register other people to see that they can get into support of this system. I should tell you, this is a very good system, and to see that we can fight and turn this world into heaven, because you've already seen and we have gone through all the benefits of this program, and you have all seen that it is very wonderful. So yeah, I would say that we may not be having regular calls daily or day to day, but at least we may have maybe a week a call, maybe on Sunday, to be according to our brother who guide us, Brother Donovan, will guide us on a call we may make once a week. And I actually think this call that we are going to make this once a week would be inclusive of challenges that you have gotten, solutions, and all other things. And on that very Zoom call, I request that these brothers that we've gotten here, that have got into this, would actually see that when we are making that Zoom call, since they are now aware of how to use Zoom, they would get into four to five people, so that this population increases. When we're making a Zoom call, every person would come in with 5 to 4 people, because I know they would have gotten many people as they would to see that they can get into this, but we request them to get five people to see that we can Zoom call with them the day we are going to make a Zoom call, to see that we can talk about challenges and how far we've gone. So I would end up saying thank you so much to all brothers that have got into this to see you are going to kill some of your time to see that this system comes to success. So thank you so much. And I would say God bless you so much for this. And I request you, please let us do fight and then get this done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank you. So yeah, that's greatly appreciated there. And just to again, just to reiterate something that Wanderer was saying there about, you know, the fact that he's connected you guys here, obviously on this call. This is the beginning. I mean, obviously Wanderer's going to be registering a lot of the voices of the children in the orphanage. So you'll see those numbers grow. It doesn't matter that Uganda's obviously, you know, hasn't sort of, you know, accelerated yet. But, you know, the acceleration's been happening in different places. But I do see Uganda obviously being a massive part of actually making Africa sort of explode. We do have some numbers in Nigeria. We do have some numbers obviously in other parts. But it is about the strategy and about the application. So some people will have very little time that they'll contribute. Some will contribute more. But obviously, if you actually imagine, if you bring a few people to a call like this, and then we encourage them to do the same, and then they start seeing more and more people coming to the call, how much that will basically get people excited as well, because they can see already more people gathering. And this is actually very much a strategy that's being used in certain types of businesses, where people are basically working to get a team of people of 5,000 within, say, a 60-day period or a 90-day period. And actually, they kind of have this mentality. Again, it's about mindset. Like, you can do it. You know, and you could just say, look, you know, I want you to come to this call. You know, okay, they were treating it like a business. So they wanted to basically, the guy had big ambitions. He wanted to make $1 million or something in a year. And basically he was just saying, right, okay, I've got a really exciting project to tell you about. I want you to come and see it. It's going to be on a Zoom, take you about 20 minutes. You know, it's going to be at 10 o'clock. I know that you're in. So when you come, can you bring 3 people? And then I'm going to get on the phone because I'm going to bring 10 people, but if you can bring 3 people, that's fine. And then when they come, you then have the same conversation, say, right, okay, we've got this exciting project. You could actually even do it, you know, if you want, if it was a financial reward behind it. This is why they obviously made it happen very quickly. They were working very intensely for about, you know, 3 months, and he was doing like 10 conference calls a day. But he had a goal with this business to make $1 million in a year, and it was just gathering people to come to the calls. And he would have one call where he would actually maybe give more of an overview of actually per day of actually what it was they were doing. But he would say, I want you to bring 10 people to this call because I know that you're going to be in when you see it. Can you bring 10 people? I want to help you, you know, be really successful. Just bring 10 people. He wouldn't even tell them. So excited about it. So, I mean, obviously that's a different thing, but yeah, there's some important thing. I would just say one other thing very quickly to add in terms of the challenge that I have had, that I continue to have with spreading the word of this. And this is my experience with Facebook, because Facebook are suppressing my ability to share information with a lot of people. And it's partly because of some of the information I was sharing over the last couple of years. I've kind of been flagged up as a person that, you know, possibly is somebody that they seem to be a threat to the kind of narrative of, you know, delivering just very mainstream information. And I was obviously talking about different things. So from that point of view, I basically share it with people in groups directly, and that's how I manage to reach people. If I do a post on Facebook, I only have maybe often a few people that actually see it, that engage with it. So I have to do it quite a lot more manual work. But you guys may find that you actually don't have that kind of shadow banning, so that you might find that people will see your posts more when you share them, and they'll engage with it. They'll ask you more questions about it, and that's what you want. Like Wanderer was saying, is to have them really asking about it. And then once, again, what Wanderer was saying about once you explain it, you know, somebody that doesn't actually get this at the moment or sort of agree to it, it's because they don't really get it yet. They just haven't, the penny hasn't dropped, and they haven't used their thinking to really sort of really see what this is, because there's no reason for them not to want a heaven on earth scenario. It's ludicrous. They just don't think it's possible, but that's not a reason to not do it. So Stuart, you got any questions? You happy with everything? Your mic's on, yeah. Sorry.
No questions. No questions.
No questions. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. And Balajusa, we lost you for a moment there. He's just connecting to the audio. Thanks for your time, Balaji. So appreciate your time tonight. I was just saying very quickly, just to say what I said just a moment ago. At this stage, obviously, you may lean on me as much as you want, in terms of support. Obviously, we're planning on having me maybe coming in on a weekly basis. You can invite people, obviously, to that call if you wish, or you can, come to that call, ask me any questions if you've got any challenges. As time goes on, you become more familiar with the content and the information of GPMS and the messaging, and you understand it more. You become a leader in your own right. You guys are clearly very intelligent human beings. You've obviously, you're in universities, you've got great contacts, you've got peers and friends that will obviously be very interested in this, and then after a while you might not really need to use lean on me that much, and that's fine. We'll still have connections and stuff, we'll still have calls and what have you, but do feel free to reach out to me. And if you guys can make sure you connect with me on Facebook, and then I can also just be in touch with you directly that way.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, enjoy your evening. It's what, 1:45 where you are now? Oh yeah, Belaruso. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I was like, one thing,
Sure.
like at my campus, I work and I study at the same time. So I can use this opportunity when I'm at campus and when I'm at work. Like, can you extend this Zoom calls to daytime? Because it's already night here in Uganda, and I may not have the good audience in my background or the good audience that is listening. But when it's there, I can invite my staff members when I'm at work, or my fellow students when I'm at campus, and we are in the same Zoom call and they are also listening, because I have seen you can explain this more better than anyone else. Because I've seen Wandera knows much more and you know much more.
Sure.
So when these people, like when I have a good audience in my background and they are listening to you, they are able to get a clear message from you.
Okay. Well, it also helps to hear that this is obviously an international operation, and that you're hearing from somebody in England as well. That also supports it as well. And actually, again, when you hear the information from me, some of the information Wanderer has given to you the first time round, it won't necessarily all go in. But what I'm saying kind of helps elaborate more on what's already said. And so actually, whenever it's like reading a book. If you read a book once, right, you learn so much from that book. But when you read it a second time, you're learning more that second time round. So that helps. But yeah, of course, in terms of the weekends, it's probably because I work during the day as well. So this is the problem. This is the challenge that I've got is my time is fairly limited as well. But do you work? Is it possible on the weekends? Would that help for you if it was like during the day on the weekend, on a Saturday or Sunday? Can't hear you, brother. It's a bit quiet. So it's a bit quiet. What were you saying?
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, it can work on weekends because I'm only at campus during weekends, so it will help me get that audience of my first students.
So it will help on the campus on weekends, yeah. So yeah, it's only with your work friends, I guess. That's during the week. There may be some opportunities, because with my own business, I'm sometimes sometimes I do have a day off here and there, but I won't necessarily know until a day or so beforehand. But what I can do is, if you connect with me on Facebook and directly, you can join the Ugandan team, as well. We can speak there as well. Then I can let you know sometimes if I've got a day off or something during the week, and you can reach those people that way as well. So, but at the moment, you can obviously find your own ways to reach to people as well, speak to them, share the transcript. When they actually see the YouTube channel and they join the Facebook group, then they're seeing other people like me, like Rick, who created the platform. When he talks about it, I mean, you think I'm quite good at talking about it. Well, it's his creation originally. He's really he's able to put things in a great way. So that can help people hear about this message from you know, others as well, and that will help as well. So, and then it's just all you are is you're like the messenger, you know, at this stage, and then you'll become more of a leader when you get more experience in it as well. And of course, you can lean on me. So on the weekends, we can plan a call, you know, during the day. So you can speak to Wanderer about what time that might be a good time on a Saturday or a Sunday, and then I'll have to try and work that out for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Great. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate.
Yeah. Lots of love, gratitude, and yeah, I'll see you again soon, guys. Thanks, Wanderer.
Okay. Have a good night.
And you, Judah. Thanks, Wanderer. Cheers, brother.